Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar. My name is Mark Pierce, and I'm the Partner Account Manager here at Perceptive Software that works closely and manages the relationship with Ellucian. We have a lot of very exciting information to share with you today, and some of that relates to the enhanced partnership that we have with Colleague. Some of that relates to some new solutions we have in place, and some of that also will entail a look at some of these new offerings that we have that will really help complement and leverage the investments you've made in Colleague. One important thing to note before we get started is we do have a questions area within the GoToWebinar panel on your right. Feel free to answer or ask questions, throughout the presentation, and we'll spend a few minutes at the end of the presentation to get those answered. For any questions that we don't get to, we will have a track and log of those, and we'll do our best to follow up with those within the next business day or two to get you the information we need. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Something that's near and dear to my heart and very exciting, I think, for Perceptive, and more importantly for each of you, is a recent renewed partnership we have with Ellucian. And there's a variety of different components to this that I think are very, very beneficial to everyone. First and foremost, we have a renewed joint commitment in higher education to help support and enhance the student success through innovation and real-world solutions. Part of us coming back together and really enhancing the partnership is based around the fact that we're very much close to what's happening in higher education and aware that there's a lot of room and certainly a lot of opportunity to provide new solutions that work well together. A huge area of benefit is just the improved knowledge exchange between Perceptive and Ellucian. Both of us being market leaders within the higher education space, there's a lot of feedback, a lot of information, a lot of requests, certainly things that we can do better, that we can help kind of harness that information, put it in place, and help drive our roadmaps and provide better solutions to you. One of the main things that we're here to discuss today is taking that insight and understanding that you have of ongoing challenges and new challenges that you're facing and putting them in place and finding a solution to help mitigate those challenges, to help you excel and adapt and continue to be successful and efficient within the higher education space. Something else that's very important to our 260 Colleague customers is just the improved integration, the interoperability between Perceptive and Colleague, and certainly we have some exciting information to share with you today. Some of it's kind of latest and greatest that not many people have seen, so certainly we think that'll be exciting, and we expect a lot of questions around that as well. So higher education is evolving. You know, we're living in a changing landscape. The way that we do business today is not how we might do business next semester or how we've done business the previous semester. So we're aware of this. We're hearing this from our customers that there's really a constant state of change. And change is coming and being introduced from a variety of forces. Some we're familiar with, some are new. So this really gives us an opportunity, again, to come together through this enhanced partnership and find ways to leverage and complement the investment you've made in Colleague by some of these innovative solutions that we've put together. Some of these forces can be coming from government legislation, mandates, things along those lines, new forms, new requirements. Some are from the way that your customers like to interact with you, students, constituents, the way they want to talk, the way they want to communicate, the way they prefer to access information and submit information. Budget and enrollment, certainly budget cuts cause a lot of difficulty. Enrollment being kind of the lifeblood of your university certainly is something that's always going to be changing, and you need to be competitive and have the edge and efficient. And then finally, technology. And technology is kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because it can force change, but it also presents an opportunity to innovate and to adapt to that change. So I think that's a nice segue into what we're talking about, again, today, is taking that feedback, that information, the needs and requirements from you, our Colleague customers, and from you, our Colleague customers that are not using Perceptive, and finding a way to really leverage, again, that investment and complement the technology and the great solution you already have in place today with Colleague. So right now, your institutions are left in a position where you really need to adapt. And there's a lot of things you can do organizationally to try to adapt to those changes. But at the end of the day, there's some things that you can't accomplish on your own. And that's really what we're here to talk about, is where Perceptive and where Ellucian can work together as partners and help innovate and provide answers to these challenges, solutions to these difficulties, and put you in a position to succeed. So, higher education is evolving. Certainly, Perceptive Software must evolve as well. Over the past few years, we've had the opportunity to work or speak with a lot of you individually and collectively, and some of the recurring challenges that we're hearing are listed in the left panel of this slide. So some of the institutional challenges that we've heard from you are, recruitment enrollment is more competitive than ever. Students want quicker information. They want to get through the process quicker. They want it to be easier. We're seeing a large shift to more of a self-service model. Back to the point of the force of the way that our customers want to interact with us, which is our students. That's changing the interaction that we have on the student service side throughout faculty and staff as well. There's also a reliance on more point solutions. You may see in the space that there may be a specific module now, like Recruiter, for the recruitment component of student enrollment, and there may be Colleague for your primary SIS, and there may be something here and here and there. But what we're seeing is more deep point solutions that provide great value but may be separate systems, and how do we kind of pair those together and how do we integrate those, and certainly that's something that we think we have a good solution for. And finally, it's the BYOD, bring your own device type era that we live in, the mobility push, doing things through our phones, our iPads, our devices, and having our students expect us to be able to operate in a similar capacity. So we have more challenges that we hear day to day, but these are really those recurring ones that are near and dear to the hearts of a lot of our customers and a lot of the prospective colleague customers that we've spoken with. So before I turn this over to Tim, who's going to be talking a little bit about these solutions, I wanted to quickly give you a quick high level of what to expect today, what Tim's going to speak to, and what Billy Cooper is going to be highlighting with a live demonstration. So we discussed the competitiveness of enrollment. We have a solution to give you the edge there, and it's around transcripts. The intelligent capture for transcripts helps with the capture of that metadata, the processing of that, the validation, and the equivalency aspect of that. And I'll let Tim talk about that in more detail. Extending the value of a student portal with perceptive transforms. So helping support a shift to self-service by providing ways for students to access and submit information from the student portal is certainly very, very attractive and something that we've had many requests from for our customers. Data integration, new integrations with Colleague, very exciting stuff. I'm going to save a lot of that for Billy and Tim to discuss, and certainly something that the #1 thing that we've heard over the years is better ways to integrate between Perceptive and Colleague. How are we going to do that? And I think we have some good answers for you there as well. And finally, the mobility push. We're going to give you just a very brief introduction to our Perceptive Evolution experience. It's our new HTML5 web client. As many of you know, over the years that have used WebNow, we've been working very diligently to improve the web experience with Perceptive Software, and we're going to give you a real quick snapshot of that today, which I think should be exciting because of the flexibility it offers. It's not Java dependent, and certainly allows you to work with the mobile device. So, before we get too much further, I'm going to turn it over to Tim. I know some of you are familiar with Perceptive today because you use our products. Some of you are not using Perceptive but use Colleague. So I'm going to let Tim talk a little bit today about kind of who we are, what it is that we do, and what it means to you before we provide that live demonstration. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. As Mark mentioned, we thought we'd take a quick second. There's some of you are probably pretty familiar with Perceptive, but some may not be. So just wanted to share a little bit of background kind of on the company and our place in the higher education industry in partnership with Ellucian. As you can see, we're a big player in this marketplace. We're over 350 Ellucian customers today, and over 800 schools nation and really worldwide that are using Perceptive Software. And what that means is that we really have a wide range of experience and a large knowledge base working with our clients, working with new clients that we can share and bring into the mix, which can be very valuable. We're also a leader in the overall enterprise content management industry. is ranked by Gartner, an independent firm that evaluates software solutions like ours. We were placed in the leaders quadrant of their Magic Quadrant last year and actually moved into an even stronger position this year based on our investment in our technology solutions, which obviously we'll be touching on here today, but also to our dedication to key industry sectors, and higher education was actually cited as one of those. So we're very excited about that. The team here on the phone that's dedicated to higher education, obviously we love to hear that. Also, you know, we are a preferred partner with Ellucian and with the Ellucian colleague. Obviously, probably the reason many of you are here, and as Mark mentioned at the kickoff here, you know, we've renewed that commitment towards working with each other and advancing solutions for our clients. We're very excited about where we are today and where we're going with that. And then finally, an experienced staff, as I mentioned, you know, the folks that you're going to be hearing from here on the phone today, you know, we're all dedicated to higher education. We also have a large professional services and solutions teams that are completely dedicated to higher education, meaning that they're bringing their day-to-day experience with all of our clients to the mix for new implementations, for expanding our solutions, and adds a lot of value to what we're doing. Okay, Mark? So what we do, we have a wide range of technology solutions, a number of different key categories. Obviously, we don't have time to talk about all today, and some of you may be familiar with us through our Perceptive Content and Process Solutions, known as Image now in the industry for a number of years. As we go through kind of a rebranding here to kind of highlight the broader range of our solutions. Many of you may know us through those products. But we do have other solutions in the mix as well, including Perceptive Search, which allows you to extract and evaluate data from a large number of repositories on your campus potentially in a single view. Our Perceptive Interact solutions, which really put the content and information really across your institution in context within your business applications and providing a fast view of that information. But really what we wanted to talk about today and touch on is some of the exciting newer solutions that we have to offer are our Perceptive Capture solutions over there in the left-hand column, where we'll be talking about smarter and more efficient ways to extract data and bring that into your colleague system, providing more efficiencies in your day-to-day processes. So that's a little bit who we are and what we do, but really what we think is most important is what it means to you, because that's really what drives the success of our solution. It's what's driven the success of our institution. So we wanted to share some of the examples of some of our colleague schools. Kankakee Community College was able to achieve a 70% reduction in their invoice processing time using Perceptive Software. And so it's a pretty dramatic cut there. Kind of an interesting stat from Loyola University, Maryland, using our Perceptive Content solution as well as our TransForm electronic form solution, which we'll get into here a little bit further in the presentation. They estimated that by eliminating paper using these solutions, each year their admissions department reduces their carbon footprint enough to run a laptop for 37 years. So kind of a fun stat there, but pretty big impacts. We know more and more institutions are implementing kind of the green initiatives to get away from paper, reduce your carbon footprint. St. Peter's University estimated that it was going to take them over 6 months to manually convert, I think they had 82,000 archived transcripts, but with Perceptive Content, they actually were able to do that in less than 2 hours. So a huge time savings that we were able to help them achieve. Montgomery County Community College, it used to take them 2 days to respond to student inquiries, and we hear this as a big challenge with a lot of the schools we work with, is just that responsiveness to your students. And what was taking them 2 days, they're now able to address those questions immediately using Perceptive Content. And then finally, College of Southern Maryland, we're able to help them cut their financial aid processing time in half. So again, pretty dramatic impacts that we're making both in the responsiveness to the students and the time it's taking for the staff to handle the different documents and processes there on campus. So let's take a little bit deeper dive then into the technology solutions we'll be chatting about today, our Perceptive Capture solutions. Most notably, we'll start off here with Perceptive Intelligent Capture. We'll be looking at this specifically within the world of transcript processing, which we're able to apply the solution in today. Some of the frustrations that we've heard through transcripts processing today. And this kind of echoes back to some of the challenges Mark highlighted earlier on. One being that most of the clients that we talk to tend to be understaffed in this area, meaning that they're bringing in extra staff during the busy times when large volumes of transcripts are coming in, and kind of pulling all hands on deck to handle that data entry when those transcripts are coming in. So, we often see departments that are understaffed and have challenges adding additional staff. And really what we see is that staff doing the wrong job. You probably have a lot of very well-educated, knowledgeable people that add a lot of value in their day-to-day activities, getting pulled away to do some more mundane tasks. And really what we want to do is help get them away from that, get them back doing their jobs. Growth goals. A lot of institutions we talk to are looking to increase their student population. However, not many are looking at an equal increase in staffing to meet that growing student population. So really what we see is a look and a turn that Mark kind of alluded to earlier to technology to provide solutions and opportunities to handle that growth without having to add staff. Of course, the need to get back to students faster is always important in an increasing competitive landscape. As you're looking for the best and the brightest students and looking for more of them, we want to help you be more responsive to those needs. And then finally, some institutions are working towards service levels, either to the students to get information back to them or just internally within the departments, and again, looking towards technology to help meet those goals. So how we're able to do this and help you accomplish this is our Perceptive Intelligent Capture solution. And we're going to go over here briefly today, and Billy's going to show you actually the solution in action, but different ways that we can capture incoming transcripts, OCR the information on the transcript to kick off really the power behind the engine, which is our classification and data extraction of that data, all done without the use of templates, which you'll probably hear us talk about a lot today. It's a big differentiator of our solution and really how we can make that process more efficient for you and your staff. Once we do that extraction, though, we're also able to reconcile and validate that data against your colleague's system. So we're making sure we're extracting correct data and making sure everything is accurate before we ever push that information back into the colleague system. We know that we want all accurate and correct information in there, so we really go to great lengths to help make sure that is correct. And then finally, we'll kick off your workflow processes to kind of take advantage and further leverage perceptive content if you're using that today. So the first step in that is a classification process, and this may be a slow manual process today when transcripts are coming into the office where you're sorting out college, high school, military. But what we're able to do is rapidly and instantly do that with Intelligent Capture. And it's able to learn the content around the documents we're receiving, the transcripts we're receiving, so we can identify them as those college transfer, the high school, or maybe even military transcripts you're receiving, and automatically do that classification and saving you that step. We're also able to sort out any additional information or documents that maybe get thrown into the batch, into the mix as you're scanning those in and move those out for processing in a different fashion. And it's very quick system, learning by example, so we're actually able to bring in new transcripts continuously without having to kind of further update the system. Once that classification happens, we go to our extraction point, and that's really kind of where the power and the system goes into play. Through that classification, we're able to learn the context around the data that you're looking to extract. So we're able to look at the entire document, not just specific zones or anchors where we're telling the system to look, to identify what information we're looking to extract, and then perform that extraction. So again, it's a few-to-many learning process where we don't have to, create a new template or bring in new, examples every time we get a new transcript. We're able to bring in that large volume that you may be receiving and accurately extract that information, again, all without the use of any sort of template. So we're able to bring in all the transcripts you're receiving and do this, the OCR and the data extraction automatically. So you can see there, no templates required. Once we do that extraction, then we're able to reconcile that data. And we have a fault-tolerant search that, again, once the data is extracted, is able to look against your known data sources, your colleague database, to reconcile the information. So in the example you see there, we had an OCR error, or actually I guess rather a printing error in Saddleback College where the D's were cut off, and that may normally kick out to an error. But since we're looking at all the information on the transcripts, we're able to correctly identify as the correct Saddleback College based on all the information that we're extracting and looking at that in an institutional database if you have that existing in Colleague today. So we're able to accurately then extract that information and put in the correct institution instead of incorrect based on what could potentially be an OCR here. Once that once the information is reconciled, the verification step is also a very easy process for your users, where we provide a rich interface to validate the information that we have extracted. And it also gives you an opportunity to look up information from your colleague database, such as institution and applicant, if the information is not extracted correctly. So again, giving you a step in the process to make sure that the data is correct and accurate within matching your colleague database. And for instance, if we extracted a student that was not in the system today, then we can also set up where they would be held in an applicant not found workflow until we receive their application. Once the verification is done and complete and we are confident in the information we have extracted, that information is pushed into our transcript eForm. You can see an example of that today. I'm sorry if it's a little bit squished on your screen. Bill will probably be able to give you a better view here in a minute. But from this transcript eForm, we're able to do a number of things. We're able to modify any sort of capture data beyond just the verification step. So if we need to change anything in the student information or the coursework, we're able to do that pretty easily. We can also edit the coursework that we have extracted as needed. Some institutions may not need all the courses that we have extracted. We're able to simply add or delete those rows as you go through the process before we push that information to colleagues. So again, we have the correct information that we're looking to enter into the system. We're also able to assist with equivalency matching. So if you have an equivalency database that's already built out, we're able to push extracted information into that database to see if we have matches made already. And you can see there in our example, we have a few examples where equivalencies were found. You can see those below in green, matching the coursework that was extracted to the equivalent courses there at your institution. We're also able to identify courses that equivalencies were not found. And I won't take too much time at this point to go into it, but we also have kind of workflow options where we can set up to push that information out to either subject matter experts or a department head to do any sort of lookups and equivalency matches at that point. So again, really all in an effort to help speed your business processes throughout the whole transcript processing. Finally, once we extract that information, it doesn't do us any good if we can't get it over to colleague for you. So we're able to push all that information, again, once validated and we're confident that the information is correct, we're able to push that over to colleague through a connector that we have built to automatically send that information into the correct fields in your colleague database. Again, saving you that data entry step in the process and giving you that information in your business system faster, kicking off your workflow processes, and allowing you to, again, get back to your students in a quicker fashion. So next we'll talk about Perceptive TransForm, another one of our capture solutions. It's our electronic form solution, as Mark mentioned, where we can actually leverage your current investment in your colleague portal, if you're using that, to promote self-service for your students. As you can see as we kick off here, really what Transform allows you to do is, and it's a very descriptive name, is really transform paper forms into electronic forms, maintaining kind of the look and feel of those paper forms today. You're able to publish them on your portal or any sort of internal, external website that you see fit. And it has a very highly intuitive designer as far as creating the form, allowing you to put a lot more control in the end user's hands to create these forms, as opposed to relying on IT to fully build out and develop forms. The access, as we mentioned, we can provide the access through your portal. Forms can be filled out online or downloaded offline, filled out, and then submitted once the user is connected again. They're also mobile friendly, so students today probably want to be able to fill out these forms on an iPad or their phone, and Transform is able to support that. And then finally, again, with our solutions, really what we're trying to do is help you optimize your business processes. So through Transform, we're able to help improve data accuracy. Through validation rules we can put in the form as far as the information that the student or potentially even a parent is filling out. It also reduces any sort of data entry error of someone keying in information off a form when they're reading someone's handwriting, so we're trying to get away from that as well. As you can see, we can push this form data right into Colleague for you, and workflow can be kicked off as the form is received. It can be pushed right into Perceptive content and kick off any of your workflow processes from that standpoint. And we got a quick example here of a form actually I received from a client we were working with. This was a PDF form that they had published on their internal website that employees had to fill out or print off, fill out, and then manually submit through a manual workflow process. And through TransForm, we were able to transform it to the image you see now, which, as you can tell, is a very similar look and feel to the form as it existed today, and included a number of different business logics as far as approvals that were needed based on the employee that was filling the information out. We're able to add attachments to the form and do a number of different things to really speed the business process and speed the workflow for the institution. So a pretty powerful tool, and we're really excited to share that with you.